Welcome to Thomas Mckean High School, home of the Highlanders. Today we are covering the wrestling match here, and I'm joined with Coach Dan Baker. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to see these matches here. I got to be honest with you. I don't know a ton about wrestling, so I'm kind of curious to see and learn from you as we're going through here. So I'm going to be relying heavily on you.
All right. Don't blame me. It's a bit of a complicated sport.
All right, so tell me a little bit about, they're warming up and everything. What are some of the matches we're going to want to look for?
So we got some tough matches down low. So we have some new wrestlers from our 106 maybe to 132. They're a little raw. So we're excited to see their matchups. And then we have up at heavyweight, we have I think a tough match that we're going to have to go. Yep. Okay. Vaughn Brooks. He might have a tough match today.
All right, looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to seeing that here. Let's see. I think we're about to get underway in just a few moments.
Yep, and there is our captain, Aidan Bass. Very proud of him. First year guy, made captain. It's a very impressive thing. Not a lot of people do that.
So he's a freshman this year?
He is a sophomore.
Okay, sophomore making the captain status. That's a pretty good honor to have.
Yeah, the big thing for us is, it's how you lead people in the room and how you carry yourself and how hard you work. You could be the best wrestler in the state, but if you don't work hard and you don't show leadership.
Well, I like seeing the discipline right now. Just the way you guys come out, everybody's warming up, getting into the wrestling mode. I can imagine for incoming team, your opponent, this got to look pretty intimidating.
I think it does, especially the home court advantage is huge for us. The other team warms up with the lights on, and then we turn all the lights off, turn the spotlight on, and then blast the music, have them run out to a few hype songs, and definitely some teams have noticed the atmosphere. It's a big difference. But you can definitely tell here, I'm looking at some of the kids, and for some of these guys, it's their first conference match, so you can definitely tell there's some anxiety going through their heads. I remember when I was a wrestler, and the same thing would happen to me. Before your match, you don't know who you're going to get. Beginning of the season.
So you're simply waiting to look over to the other side and say, okay, there's the guy that I'm matching up against. And tell me about the adrenaline that kind of goes through as you get ready to do this.
It's a lot. So, you're warming up, waiting basically to see, you weigh in together, right? So who's in your weight class. But a lot of times there's 2-3 guys. Oh, first match is starting. So we have Jordan Humes. He's a first-year wrestler right there, kind of fighting for positioning. Jordan's got that collar tie, overhook. They're a little high. Looks like he's looking for a throw right there, but he just gets rolled through. That's tough, but he keeps rolling. But it looks like he grabbed a headlock, and when you do that headlock on the ground for a pinning combination, you have to have an arm.
Okay.
So he had the head only, and that is, unfortunately, it gives a point to Howard. But gotta sink those hips if you want to pin somebody, You can't just keep getting rolled. But Jordan's one of our newer wrestlers. He's been out for about a week and a half. Ooh. Tries to duck and get that shot, but he gets the arm catch, and he gets
his leg around there too.
A quick trip right there. So it looks like he got 2 back points off that. So
that awards 2 points to him?
2 points, yes. Okay. So just for having his back on the ground at about a less than 45 degree angle, you get 2 points. So he's getting back points right here. He's trying to lean into that pin and just got the pin.
Nice.
It's a bit of an unconventional hold. He's still young. We're still going over some pinning combinations with him, but good positioning. And he gets 6 points for us. So pin is 6 points. If you just win by points, it's 3 or 4 depending on how many points. Oh, it just looks like they didn't call it. It might have been out of bounds. So this is called referee's position, top bottom. So when you have control, you start again on top. Good breakdown. Again with the hips, he gets rolled. Whenever you take somebody to their back, you gotta Gotta be heavy on the hips.
It was like I noticed he's looking off to the side there, almost like he was looking for coaching, and then the match was still going.
100%, yeah. There you go. And this is a little better position. You want him kind of lace the legs there a little bit, but you see how he has that wrapped around the head. He has a lot more control here. And then when he grabbed that leg, there's the pin, pretty much over at that point. But that's the good thing about Jordan. He's a smart kid, so he'll look over the sidelines when he doesn't know what to do.
They shake hands. So they shake hands here and go their separate ways. Get ready for this next match.
Yeah, so we have, this is weight class 120. We have Miles Nunez, a true freshman. Miles has a lot of potential. He wrestled in middle school, did really well. We're really excited. So he goes for a low single really quickly right there. Doesn't get the takedown, but like to see that off the whistle. And then he goes for a double leg. He shot from a little far out. So now he's got to build up, try and lift him or get around to the side, and he drives, and he gets 2 right there. So nice takedown for Miles. Goes to the crossface, immediately goes to the half Nelson. He's walking that around his head, sticks him, but high hips, very high hips, but he does sink down. He's just got to really lift that head. The Howard kid is trying to turn. Miles just got to get him stuck on his back. See, the tough thing right there is you want to be perpendicular when you pin, because you see how easy it is to roll when your weight is completely on top of them.
So there he's lifting them off.
There you go. See how he got, he's perpendicular now. That kid is stuck. Yep, 6 points.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Miles has a high ceiling. I'm excited to see him this year. So right now we're up 18-0 because they forfeited at 106.
Okay.
And we had Alona fell out there. So this is Juan Zavala at 126. It's going out there, a little circling, trying to get to know each other a little bit. That's always the fun part, figuring out, what style of wrestler they are.
And so when they take each other out of the circle there, it just resets the action, correct?
Correct. But you can play the circle. It's almost like football. So if you get a takedown, as long as you keep 2 feet in or 2 body parts, and it can even be one of his, you can still get that 2 points. So Juan goes in for a shot, gets his base broken down, and this guy immediately goes for the crossface cradle right there. That cradle is tough to get out of. So he gets put on his back, and this is a hard position. You get stuck in this, it's hard to fight out of.
Yeah, once he gets locked in, it's almost like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu type move there,
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do from that. You can either stretch out, but yeah, you can see he gets pinned right there. It's one thing, you never want to get your head near your knee, and whenever you do, someone is always going to try and catch that cradle. So Howard takes 6 points at 106, so right now we're 18-6, Mckean. And this is a big one, is our captain Aidan Bass at 132.
Hey, Captain's got to set the tone here.
Oh, and there he goes. Nice takedown, a little sporadic, but he gets control. Aidan has a tendency, his hips get a little forward on him, so he's got to keep those hips back. If you get a little too forward with the hips, they're going to be able to reach back and grab that leg. Nice, getting a little turn. You got to get him flat. So, whenever we're on top like this, we're trying to flatten the guy out to run our moves. He's obviously trying to build up. Aidan's punching a half in on the right side. Looks like they went out of bounds, I want to say.
You need to get a overhead camera.
Yeah, right.
Get a little overhead camera here, and you can see that.
Nice little back heel trip there. They can run the half right on that left side. So what happened there is when he did that back heel trip, when you return a guy to the mat, you immediately have to release your hands. So if you pick him up to try and take him down, you can lock your hands. But as soon as he hits the mats, lock hands gives your opponent a free move and 1 point. So
There he's trying to take the foot away from him.
Yep. He did a tight waist ankle right there. It's a nice move, especially if you're young and you don't want to lock your hands. And he goes immediately for the half Nelson. And this is actually a move called the Big Cookie. So he has a half Nelson and a bar. This is a move you're not going to get out of. And you see he's perpendicular. Perfect. All you have to do is settle in, really, and he gets the 6. And Aidan was very excited.
You can see he's pretty pumped up
yeah.
there, too.
That's his first pin of the year. He's excited. He's gotten some tough draws at tournaments lately. I think our last tournament, he had to go against 2 PA guys, and PA is just a powerhouse in wrestling.
All right, who do we have here?
So we have Gabe Bowers here at 138, and it's 24-6. Gabe's looking for the snap down, goes straight into a double leg. And does he get the takedown there? Don't believe he did. It looks like they went out of bounds. It was close, though. At his feet, I could argue. You know, if that was college, I would throw the block to challenge it. You can actually challenge it like football in college. You can't do it in high school. So a little bit of hand fighting, tugging on the neck. He's trying to get that snap down, and he does right into a double leg. Picks it up, takedown for 2 points. And he's getting some back right there. He keeps the guy right on his back. It looks like Howard's going to get a stand-up. And Gabe Bowers with the mat return. He's trying to work that half up top. And it looks like he's loading up a power half. He's really got to get that leg out, though, because that leg's stopping him. Looks like he's going for that cradle. And he locks it up. All he has to do is sit back, get his position right, and as long as he doesn't break that grip, he should have a pin here if he really settles in. And there you go, quick pin. That's another 6 from Mckean. Right. Gabe Bowers. Love to see that from him. So,
sorry about that, Baker. I had some microphone troubles there to start this match, but I am broadcasting now.
Back in it. So we had a forfeit. They forfeited it to us at 148. A lot of people dodged Shaq Lebrew. You know, he's one of our best wrestlers, conference placer. So over here, this is 150, and we have Matt Bender. A tough guy. He's been wrestling really well. He did a lot of work over this.
So tell me, like, you know, you have somebody at the Shaq's at the 148.
Shaq typically wrestles at 138, but we bumped him to 144.
So why would you not want to wrestle Shaq? Are you saving a wrestler for a different opponent to have a better chance?
Try to have a better chance.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you don't want to get your guys beat up.
Right.
There's a bunch of different reasons you could do it, but definitely if you have only one person at that weight class and you have to pretty much, it's at the beginning of the match you flip for odd or even, and one person has to show first.
Okay.
So we actually had to show Shaq, and they saw that Shaq was coming out.
And so
they bumped
it's like
away
a chess match, basically. It's like, you know.
It is, yeah. You have to.
You see what's on the board, and then they make the decision from there.
Yeah, when Coach Jordan and I, we write out all the scenarios for what could happen, and we go with sheets for odd, and we go with sheets if we get even, and how we think they'll bump, how we might bump. So a lot goes into it, a lot of thought.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Matt got that shot a little far out, and you know, with that shot, you dive into that shot, you don't really have a lot. We always tell him, you know, you got to shoot through, not to. So you can see there's a bad shot, and the Howard opponent just spun behind and got to, but he's riding a little high. His hips are in front, so Matt, there he goes, grabs that leg. Let's see if he can get it up and get a reversal. And there you go. Reversal tied at 2-2 right now. He's going for that cross wrist. Trying to dig that half right there. Got the half in, but it's got to reset. You got to be careful when you get your hips around that far. But see, right here is what we call a scramble. So no one really has. Oh, grabs the head and rolls through. This is almost a Peterson variation of it. He's got the wrong leg. But he could pin in almost a stack if he just sits back, and it looks like he did.
There it is.
It's an unconventional, weird position, but
it made it work.
Yeah, he made it work for him and gets 6 points for us. We're up to 30-6. But that's what happens when you get a scramble. You get in some weird positions. So, all right, and over here we're at 157. This is Hernan Leal, and Hernan, I feel bad for him. He's at he had a heart condition, and he wasn't able to get it cleared up until this year, so he missed a whole year of wrestling last year. But he's one of our tough seniors, and he actually goes in right there. You see, he wants a headlock trip. Doesn't get it, gets out of bounds, but when you ever do that, whenever you do a throw, man, you got to watch your hips because you will get rolled, and you saw he did get rolled, so yeah. He's kind of lucky he went out of bounds. Little hand fighting. He's up high a little bit. Right there, he's still going for the headlock, but he doesn't have anything in it. He wanted a toss, and he's reaching back and ends up getting taken down. So Howard scores 2 on that. So right there, he's building his base up, and he's just trying to escape. So trying to get hand control down low is a tough thing, and, you know, you got a 157-pound person on top of you trying to fight and keep you down. It's very, very difficult. So he's trying to get hand control in order to sit out, stand up, Peterson, do something to get out of this. But he looks a little gassed.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's tired.
He's coming off a sickness. We actually had a medical forfeit him in our last tournament because he just wasn't feeling right. So
I was going to say, lots of sickness, sinus infections, COVID, everything's been going back around here over the last couple of weeks.
It is going around. We actually, the ref of our match, we were going to do about 10 JV exhibition matches, but he could only do one because he said the Beast of the East, which is one of the best tournaments in the nation. It was last weekend, and I think 4 or 5 refs from Newcastle County got COVID.
Oof.
So he's like, I got to match 3, get 3 matches tonight. And the period ends, he almost rolls through right there and sticks him on his back, but that was the end of the first period. So you see that Hernan has choice, so you can either go top, bottom, neutral, or defer. So we deferred over to Howard, and Howard chose bottom. Bottom is always a solid choice because you escape. You
try to get a point right from the get-go.
Right. So there's not a lot of good wrestlers, especially I would say in the Blue Hen Conference, that are really dominant on top. I see it a lot down lower in the state at like your Sussex Central. Downstate guys are really good at running legs, like Laurel, Sussex Tech. They'll throw a leg in there, you know, like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu leg, and it is hard to get those out.
Looks like we're having a little focus problems with the camera. There we go. It's coming into focus now a little better.
Yeah, and Hernan's just fighting to keep him down here. Almost looked like he tried to roll there. It's got a cross wrist. He's digging, he's flat, so here's where you want to start, you know, working your moves, especially with a guy who has his head down. And it would definitely, you know, set up to either run a bar or a half. He's trying to run a half here. Kid from Howard's putting up a good defense, though. You know, countering every move so far.
When you get into like your 5th minute of a match, like both of them have got to be absolutely gassed at this point. So how much of this is a mental versus physical match once you get into the second half of these?
It's 90%. The mental part plays so much of a part in wrestling. You know, you're going up against a guy, or girl, you know, you have no idea who they are sometimes. You know, they're doing different moves, you feel different moves, and, you know, you try not to think, but you're always in the back of your head, and then you get gassed, and it's, you know.
The position of his left leg there a second ago, he like hooked his ankle inside. That's to try to keep him from getting up, right?
Yeah, he was trying to go for a move. It's called a bulldog, where you actually hook the ankle and then hook your own ankle. Oh, you scoop the leg and then hook your own ankle. It's a pretty nice move to keep someone down. But yeah, it's when you see some of these kids, because we can go into overtime, and then it's a minute, and then you can go two more 30 seconds, and then an additional, I believe, 30 seconds. So it's the third period now, and Hernan chose down. So Hernan, his base is getting broken down, and he keeps going for that tight waist ankle, looking to throw a half in there. The Howard kid is. He looks like a pretty strong kid, and he's one of their stronger wrestlers right here at 157 pounds. He's looking for the cradle. That's one of the things you don't want to do in wrestling. Yeah. One of the golden rules is never reach back.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what was going on there. I was like, what is he trying to accomplish, reaching back for that right leg?
You know, as a coach, it's something
I don't know wrestling,
we
but when I
preach
watched
never to reach back.
Yeah, I mean, my background was in Taekwondo. So, like, a lot of this, I can see positioning and maneuvering, but it doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
No, it did not. I think that's just when you're tired, you get a little lazy, you hope you can get a leg. And right here you can see he's fighting it off, but this Howard kid has a nice half dug, and he's getting back point, so you can see the ref has three fingers held up, or he should, but he's got this one position. He's had it for at least 5 seconds, so he's going to get 3 back points regardless. And that's a nice move right there. See how he dug that far leg?
Yep.
That really gets guys to turn on their back. So Hernan is in a tough spot right there, and Howard does get the pin. It's a good showing for the 157-pounder. Yep. I know Hernan's not going to be happy with that match, but he didn't look like his regular self right there. And it happens. You can see he's upset with himself walking off that match. So it should be 30-12 right now, and we have Omar Rodriguez coming up. Or it should be 36, I'm sorry. We got a forfeit at 57.
Okay.
Their 57-pounder, I believe he was overweight. I can't recall, but...
I was talking to Omar about wrestling a few weeks ago in the radio station. He was on promoting, about the upcoming season. He was just saying that, this is one of his first years, I guess, really becoming a wrestler, and how gassed he was becoming by the second half of matches.
Yeah, for sure. He came in off football, and he was like, I asked him if he was in shape. He's like, I'm in great shape. And I'm like, you're not in wrestling shape, bud. He didn't really know what that was yet, but he definitely does now. And tough position.
So what could he have done differently there to try to get out of that once he was there?
Well, he got tossed pretty easily and went right to his back. We call it bellying out. Whenever you get taken down, you never want to land on your back and stay there because kids will stick you. So you want to belly out and get to your belly as quick as you can. So this is 195, and this is Malik Pinkett. Oh, and Malik immediately he tries to throw the cement mixer. It doesn't work, but he does get a takedown. And he's just muscling this kid right there.
You can see the difference in weight class from what we've been watching immediately.
And he's just punching under the arm. Looks like he...
Bam.
I think that was about 19 seconds for that pin. And it looks like he just got double underhooks and just muscled it.
Yeah, I mean, that was, from what I could tell, pure muscle, just forcing his will upon him to get rid of that match. And, that's got to be a tactic, too, to try to strike really quick before the, stamina starts to lower, just to try to get your opponent pinned.
100%. There are those muscle guys that wrestle differently. They go for throws, and they can do that because they can get out of those positions, and they can put themselves in dangerous positions. But here's Frank Kelly at 215. Little snap down right there. He goes right to almost a cement mixer. So he's grabbing that chin, and he wanted to punch it across and put him on his back, but he just circled around and got his 2 for his takedown. And then they went out of bounds. So he's got to go for the breakdown here. You really want to flatten him out. Keep making him turn. There you go with the.
So he gets over to the belly.
Yep.
Now it's
so
trying
he works
to
back
lift
up.
out. Yep.
Looks like he's got a power half locked in. That's when the forearm's in there as well. He just does a simple roll. He grabs the near leg and rolls him across. It looks like he got 2 for that back. Then he tried to suck him back a little bit. He got in bad positioning right there. You know, your hips too heavy. I think he was just a little too excited about this. But he's wrestling right on the edge right there. He has him turned in the back. He has that half sunk. A little out of control right here. You see, right here you want to pull that head, right? Because the head is the only support part that's keeping him up. So I would keep scooting back with that head, but that's a tough position to pin from.
Now this is totally not out of bounds at this point because he's still in, but when he rolls here, he's keeping his knee in. So,
yeah, so he had that knee, part of the head and the elbow. That would be a tough call, but you see how he got horizontal or perpendicular?
Yeah, perpendicular, yeah.
Yeah, that's where he finished him off. But yeah, the ref could have easily called that out.
Yeah.
So now we have heavyweight coming up. So we have Vaughn Brooks. Vaughn's our normal starting 215-pound. We bumped up to wrestle a guy who was all of 285.
Oh, wow.
So this is a big guy from Howard. So you can see the weight change. He has at least 60, 70 pounds on Vaughn. And so
at the beginning of this match, I noticed that he was trying to stay low on him. Is that because of the weight difference, trying to get down to get him to the ground quickly?
Yeah, trying to size him up. But, you know, the last thing you want to do when somebody has 70 more pounds with you is stand up straight and get into a tie with them.
Right.
You know, a tie up top. You know, if a guy has 70 more pounds, he might lateral drop you, and he could probably do it pretty easily, even if it's not great positioning.
Right.
Just purely because of the weight. So they're pushing off here. A lot of the big men, they don't do much. So, you know, typically I see a lot of them, either they're going to be super aggressive and try and get a throw, or they wait for you to make a mistake. So Vaughn's in a tough position here. Never want to get your head under the guy, but he uses a good way to drive him out of bounds and reset that. So
Get
they
the
go
center
back to
gravity
neutral.
there, keep pushing him. You see his feet kept moving the entire time, trying to stay nice and balanced, have a good base underneath him.
Yep, he kept his hips low. So they're still fighting for positioning. One of the things here Vaughn has to do is he has to wrestle smart. So you've seen, you know, he gets that single, you want to cut that around the outside. See how all that weight is now on
the
top
inside,
of him?
now it's on top, exactly, pushing him down.
So he's got to really crank down on that arm. And he would have had a takedown, but legs went out of bounds. But that's tiring, man. 275 pounds of man on top of you, that's a lot of weight. So I've seen Vaughn be pretty aggressive here. You know, I'd be looking as a ref. I don't see a lot of movement out of Howard.
Yep.
So that's one of those times where he's got to make sure he's actively wrestling and showing.
You heard him call. There's 15 seconds left, and you got to wonder how much is like, I just need to survive the next 15 seconds, and I get a quick break here.
Yeah, you can tell he looks like he's pretty tired, but you know, if you're not wrestling and actively trying to take them down or actively escape, that's when you get hit with a stall call. So, looks like Coach Dorda called Vaughn to go on top. So, wanted to hopefully get a quick breakdown. We'll see how he goes. But a good stand-up by the Howard kid. He's fighting right there. That's a difficult position right there because Vaughn's got to either take him back to the mat, but if he drives him out, he can get a stall call on Vaughn. So the Howard kid just stuffs that hand in his pocket and cuts himself free and gets a point. Kind of looks like he
looks like he's ready to box
ready
there.
to fight. Yeah, he might be in the wrong sport there. And you can see right there, you know, as soon as Vaughn goes high, that guy wants to throw him, or a move called a slide by. He wants to just pop that elbow around, pop that arm behind him, and just get right behind him. But you can see, I mean, whenever you're standing straight up in a wrestling match, it's never a good sign.
Yeah.
And both of these guys look worn, absolutely worn. Vaughn goes for the shot again. That was a beautiful blast double. So you see his head was right in the middle. That's what we call a blast double. So if it's just to the side, left side or right side of the hip, it's just a regular double. But a blast double is grab that legs and just drive through. And he's definitely good at that from football. So it's still a second period. He is down 1.
You can tell he's getting tired there, his opponent.
Yeah, and he's kind of backing away.
Exactly.
You know, that's
on his heels.
That's where you kind of look for your stalls, and that's where you want to push the pace. You know, he's not doing much of anything right there. Vaughn goes for the shot again. That's where you got to hit him with a stall call there.
Yep.
You know, you're actively not doing anything. All right, and third period, looks like they chose neutral. Vaughn goes for the shot right off the whistle. Again, though, he gets stuck underneath. And now you can see that guy's just laying on him. And that is not comfortable for Vaughn. Vaughn wants to you want to get to your base here and just keep circling around to that right side, but he loses the grip, and that's a tough one. Give up 2 points, so down 3-0 now, and this guy's just going for the
he's trying to connect his hands.
Cross-face cradle right there. We call it the best move in wrestling. We love teaching this move. But there's a simple defense. You just got to lengthen yourself out and try and get that hand break. Make sure they don't touch. Make sure he doesn't connect. And if you get that wrist, you can just pop it over your head. Oh, my mistake. This must be the start of the third. I think that was the very end of the second. So they're just pummeling in for position right there. So you always want to look for the inside position, which Howard has right now. And that's where Vaughn has his strengths, because he knows that from football. You know, he's pretty good at his handwork. He goes for the shot again. Looks trying to get another blast double.
We're in these hand grips and stuff. How many times are you actually trying to hurt the person's wrist, hurt the hands to try to weaken your opponent? You know, how much does that happen actually during these matches?
You know, I can't say, you know, we don't coach to hurt.
I know you don't coach, but people's got to go for it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You know, you can see some definitely, and me personally, when, you know, I wrestled, you're not allowed to do this, but you're on top of a guy, you're trying to turn him. You know, people put their fingers in crazy places. They dig their chin into you. They really hammer down on your fingers and wrist. You know, so there's definitely some pain involved in there. So Vaughn's in again. He's in another. You don't want to be in this position. Never just laying down, holding on for dear life.
I mean, right there, though, when he brought his head down on Vaughn, if Vaughn had slid out both sides and kicked out around, he could have probably got back up to like a sit-up position, right? Like driving his right leg forward right now and rolling back to the outside.
That's what he wants to do. You got to build your base up and start with that leg on the side. So he breaks the grip and gets around for another 2. Believe it's 5-0 at this point. Vaughn. They both look exhausted.
Yep.
Absolutely exhausted. And that's a tough loss for Vaughn. You know, he's wrestling up, you know. It's not a pin, so it's only 3 points. He only won by 5. It's not a major, so only 3 points given up. So it does give them a total of 21 points, and we got 60. So that's the end of varsity matches.
Okay.
So at that
point in time, what we just saw there, the varsity matches you guys have won, or do these points go towards the overall score?
We have won.
Okay.
Yeah. So the most you can get in a match is 84 points. So if we ever get more than 42 points, we already know we've secured the match.
Okay.
So we knew we had already won before those matches, but then that's when you look into matchups and you look into seeding and things like that. You know, that's another reason you might see people bump away from certain wrestlers. For instance, if you know your guy is going to get beat or could potentially lose,
right.
And say they've already wrestled previously and your guy beat the other guy, when you go to conferences, you can say, oh, we beat you, so we should have a higher seed in the conference tournament.
So really there's almost two things that are happening in wrestling. You have your conference overall team score, and then you have your individual scores as well, and that's how they figure out all state, all conference, all those.
Yeah.
So you're an individual participant and a team participant all at the same time.
Absolutely, and that's what I think is so beautiful about the sport, because you know, you don't have to rely on anybody else. You know, even if you're on the worst team in the state, you could be the hardest worker, go to, you know, other practices, you could, you know, work hard during the off season, and you could be a state champion.
Right.
You know, I just, from coaching for so many years, you know, field hockey, lacrosse, you can see it when, you know, you have one person who's not pulling their weight, everybody gets so upset. But, you know, at a tournament, you know, you're wrestling for yourself.
Right.
Lino's doing well. He's a first-year wrestler right now. Little iffy with that mat return. Got to be careful there. And he ended up locking his hands on that. I don't know if they called it or not, but it was definitely a locked hand. But there you can see, so you see how he flipped that coin? That's what we do at when the coaches and captains meet. We flip the coin and we decide even or odd. So he's got to be careful here. You know, whenever you do that mat return, if it's not good, you got to either lift, or you can trip, or you can do a heel block, but you can't just fall backwards. But he's a younger wrestler, and, you know, he's out there for the, you know, one of his first 3 matches. This is probably his 3rd or 4th match ever, so he's fighting hard. So he's working around. They're looking for what's called a setup. So before you take a shot, you just don't want to just shoot randomly. Right. You want to do something to set it up, whether it's drag an arm across to expose the leg, snap a head down, and then when their head comes back up, you can shoot. Anything to get the arms away and to get their body almost straight up. There, it's a good shot. The head was on the wrong side, but
should be on the inside, right?
Should have been on the outside.
Okay.
Other side. And you can see there's his arm. He locked his hands right there, and the ref did catch it that time, unfortunately. So that's a tough one. So you give a point to them, and they get a free move. So if he was able to escape on that, it's kind of like soccer where they give the advantage.
Right.
So if he's able to escape, or Peterson, or do a reversal, you get the points for that, as well as the extra 1 point. There you go. He's in on the shot, and there's where he wants to get a single leg. So, you know, he's got to pull that in, switch to double, or push out right there. See how he gets right around him, and that's locked hands on Howard. Not sure if they're going to call that or not, but you can tell these are two kind of raw wrestlers, 2 new wrestlers. But love seeing these guys because, you know, in a few years they're going to be good wrestlers if they keep up with it. We didn't see he's getting tired. He didn't attempt a mat return. And sometimes that's the smart move. That's Shaq Lebrew's go-to. Is he doesn't like to work on top. So if he takes you down, he's just going to let you back up. You know, I've seen him be beating guys like 20-10 because he gets 2 points and they get a point for every escape. You know what I mean? I've seen him beat
Very
guys
calculated in the way he goes about it.
He's tech guys 30-15 because once you get ahead by 15 points, it's called a tech. You only get 5 points for a tech, a pin 6, but we'll still take it, you know? It's a good shot, but he's got to get his head out to the side. He's got to get a post leg out there too. You can't just go down to both knees. That's it's called your base, and he's not building a good base, so he has nothing to drive off of if you're just on your knees. So this guy's looking to cradle him up.
He's looking to roll him.
But looks like he gets a good roll through. He might even get some back here. It's not controlled yet. He's almost in a Peterson position, but he grabbed the wrong leg. So he got some back for that, and then he should get 2 points for a takedown there. See how he just, like Tyreek Hill, you know, on the...
toe tap.
Yep.
Kept it in.
It's a good takedown. There you go. See if he attempts a mat return here. Just let him go. See, this is where that mental part plays in. You know, they're very fatigued, and fatigued wrestlers make mistakes.
Yep. Like right now, like his opponent was just, you know,
standing straight
up. Like, there you go.
You can see if he would have gotten a better shot, he would have been able to take him down pretty easily. But again, we're reaching and our head is down. So whenever you want to take that shot, you don't want to reach. You want to shoot through.
So as we approach the end here, what's Mckean's record looking like at this point?
This is our first dual meet of the season, so we're 1-0. You know, we've had a couple tournaments. We've had 3 tournaments so far, but we have not had all our guys out. So we're looking forward to get our entire lineup healthy, get guys to their correct weights, and we'll be excited to continue.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Coach Baker. Appreciate you coming in here on behalf of the ARV Next Gen Media. We appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed the presentation.
All right. Thank you for having me.